yes, if you knew one thing about me and my game taste, you would know that up there, normally, Carlos rearranged things right now, normally there's a shelf devoted to one specific genre. Now, not only that genre, but typically a certain company's games in that genre. And some of you already know the answer to this, but that is, of course, the Arkham Horror files from Fantasy Flight Games. So anything that is under this umbrella is something I enjoy. I love Arkham Horror the card game. It's fantastic, which is what we're talking about today. Love Mansions of Madness. I love Arkham Horror 3rd Edition. I like the way it tightens up the mechanics and really borrows a lot from both of those things. But today, we're looking at something different. The question of the day is, what game would you like to see a dive back into? So I don't mean a new edition, I don't mean an expansion. I mean, what would you like to see an alternate take on? So maybe, a game that has a similar ideas and you tweak the rules enough to where you go back and play the original game with this. So I guess technically it could be an expansion, but what would you like to see? What favorite game of yours would you like to see retweaked to where you get a return to, maybe return to viticulture, return to Twilight Imperium, return to 1960, something where it just tweaks it enough to where you get that experience of going back for the first time and playing this, but also still loving what you loved about it the first time. So which brings us to today, return to the Dunwich Legacy from Arkham Horror Files and Fantasy Flight Games with the Arkham Horror the card, living card game. Now you do need the base game and you do need the original Dunwich Legacy campaign base box to play this one. So you also need some of the other ones. But let's take a look at what comes in here, whether you should pick this up or not right now. Normally when I shoot on this playmat, it's a little bit too busy, but I absolutely love the Arkham Horror playmat. So good to see that getting to come into play for this video. So we have Dunwich Legacy or Dunwich Legacy, depending on how you say it. Inside this box, I want to show you what all's in here first, because it looks like there's a ton, but there's actually not a lot in here. This is more storage space than anything. This is all empty, but it's storage space because you, at the bottom here, get one of the most important parts, if you ask me, which are these dividing cards. Now these division cards, what they do is you open this up and every single set of Doom cards, or whatever they're called, the cards that have the different symbols on them, they all have a divider. Now the interesting thing about the whole Dunwich Legacy, but there's a ton of them as you can see, because you get the regular version and the upgraded version. So you have Chilling Cold, Creeping Cold. You have, where's another one? Let's see. But there's the different mission cards, but you also have Dark Cults. Here we go, Secret Doors, Locked Doors. So some of these are upgraded. Now what does that mean? Well, for the whole point of the Return to series that they're doing, return to extracurricular activities, return to Miskatonic Museum, return to Blood on the Altar, return to Where the Door, you get all of these done as a return to mission. So they all change because these symbols are going to replace the old symbols. So Ancient Evils is replaced by Resurgent Evils. Striking Fears were switched out for Erratic Fear. Chilling Cold, Creeping Cold, Locked Door, Secret Door, Agents of Yogg-Sothoth, Emissaries. The Beyond the Threshold. Now the interesting thing about this is it basically takes what you love already and tweaks it to where you have a deeper game experience, but you get to do it again basically as a fresh new opportunity. Now there are some new character cards in here, so you get Bandoliers, new Blackjacks. This one's neat. Preposterous Sketch. Play it only if there's a clue in your location and draw 3 cards. You notice it's free. It's an action. It's not fast, but still, it's nice that this is in there. Strange Solution, a bumped up version of this, which allows you to do more if you've identified its clue. Contraband. There's a bunch of new cards that are really cool, and things that say like, remember that you cheated or did this or this or this. A lot of really pretty art over here. I don't want to show you too much other than just this, just to avoid spoilers. Really neat looking stuff. So the whole point of this is, the bulk of this is mostly the new threat cards, which would be the ones, the treachery cards and things like that, which are the new upgraded versions, but also the mission cards. So you have tons and tons of new location cards over here, which correspond to all of the missions redone. So there's a Return to Miskatonic. It tells you what you need. New story, new cars, all this sort of stuff. I don't want to go through and spoil too much if you haven't played through the whole thing, but just know it comes with a lot of new content. If you like the original, this is definitely something you're going to want to look into. The other really cool thing it adds is achievements. So there's an achievement list if you're into that sort of thing of, well, did I do this? What is this stuff anyway? Defeat the experiment using the alchemical concoction and extracurricular activity. So different little things you can go off and be like, yes, I did this. There's also an optional variant called ultimatums, which are basically new game plus hard stuff, where it's just really, really difficult things. You know, ultimatum of disaster. Add one additional random basic weakness to each investigator starting the deck. So really just things that make it more difficult if you breeze through it the first time. Now, I'm of the opinion, I'm of the style of game where I like to do it where it says, if you want to enjoy the story, do it at this difficulty. That's more my speed, but I really want to come in and try playing it a little bit harder difficulty with some of those achievements and ultimatums. But that's Return to the Dunwich Legacy. So that's Return to Dunwich Legacy. So an interesting thing about this, I have also the Return to the Night of the Zealot. I love the idea that they're doing this. They're taking a game that I love. I love the cycle. This cycle was especially fantastic, the Dunwich Legacy. A lot of great story behind it, a lot of great mythos, mystery stuff with Yogg Sothoth. The train mission in the original was fantastic. So what's great about this is just getting to go back and replay like New Game Plus in a sense, not even New Game Plus, but like more just a hey, let's make it harder, let's make it slightly more difficult, but also let's change and tweak the story a little bit to where it's not quite the same thing all the way through. So every single mission from the Dunwich Legacy gets a tweaked version. There are cards to replace certain sets of cards in the old version, and it tells you on here what to do. And you don't get any new heroes or anything like that, but you do get new player cards, and some of them are very good, including for the ones we showed you earlier. So should you get this if you like Arkham Horror the card game? Well, if you liked the Dunwich Legacy, absolutely. It's a definite no-brainer. If you didn't like the Dunwich Legacy, then this is probably not for you. If you like any of the cycles, hold out and get this for two reasons. One, the game, obviously having new versions of the missions that you loved playing, but story's going to be a little bit different, so that's nice. If you like the original, then obviously get the tweaked version, the special, version. But also the storage. Just having the storage for your cards is really nice. It's good that you can take all the missions that you have and store them in these little dividers in this box, and then they look like file cabinets, like an old library or something like that. So I just think it looks really cool to have these. More importantly, storage, but most importantly, missions. Just reinvigorating a good mission that you already love to play. So definitely go check out Dunwich Horror, the Dunwich Legacy, Return to Dunwich Legacy. It's just such a cool idea that they're doing this, that if you love something, they're giving you another fresh view at it. And how often does that happen in gaming, right? So I'm Brian Drake here on the Dice Tower. Make sure to check out our videos over there on this playlist down below. You can see almost 200 videos we've done here on the Dice Tower, reviewing all sorts of board games. Make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and all that such at The Latest Retro. And until then, we'll see ya.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at DicetowerNetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower